We've always talked about the idea of the private self and the public self. So again, there's always been that concept of a public self. The difference is that this public self, again, is much more intentionally cultivated at this point, consumed potentially by many more people, and has more duration because it literally is something I'm putting out there. And so the more one is consumed with thinking about those things, and again, with our cell phones, etc., giving us that portal to seeing it all the time. There really is no downtime. As we mentioned, you bring it with you everywhere you go. And so essentially it leads to a culture of being much more self-preoccupied. So I spend most of my time thinking about how do people view me. That's not healthy. In fact, it leads, this is a well-documented thing, the more self-focused we are, the more it leads to things like depression, the more it leads to anxiety. I mean, the truth is, as we are more increasingly critical, we can't stand up to the truly impossible standards of made-up identities, where there's even companies that will come in and fix your social media to make you, and people do it, this will make you look better. These are the kinds of posts you want to do. And so they become a production. And there's payoffs. There's some people, that's their lives. They post YouTube videos and make hundreds of thousands of dollars because enough people watch them.
People will take down their posts if they don't get enough likes, or they won't have enough people following their, watching their story, whatever that may be. And that we've got to this level that if you even ask them about those likes and the people that they want to like their items, their posts or whatever that may be, but would you actually talk to those people in person? And of course they're like, well, no, probably not. But it overall depends on the way people look at social media. That's very person specific. Social media can be something that you're really happy for people about.
One thing that we have established is that the long pattern, both in human and animal data, that suggests that our brain does have reward centers. And in that respect, social media functions exactly as we would have seen before, so that there is instantaneous response in the brain for those who value that. Now again, for someone who's not involved in technology, a like would have little meaning to them, just like a certain like for you for anything that's unfamiliar to you would not have that effect. Individuals become entrained to value those things, and as they become more valuable to them, then their brain responds just in the same way that a cocaine results in a certain response for a cocaine addict, but might not for you. One of the traits that's been studied, if you want to think of the evolution of an identity or character or personality, that's been studied the most in this context is narcissism. So narcissism is this sort of self-focused attention, self-love, a grandiose view. And one of the things we're seeing is that narcissism is highly associated with things like how often you check your social media, how often you make posts that are really about you, where that's kind of the main purpose. The amount of time spent on, the number of virtual friends versus real friends, all of these things are related to how narcissistic people are. Now, these are just associations. The study that has not yet been done is, are narcissistic people more likely to do that, or does doing that actually make you more narcissistic?
Increasing your followers or increasing your likes in a fake way. Humans at times just make a lot of assumptions. Oh, this many people are following them. I bet they do a lot of good stuff, so now I'll follow them too. It's a way to manipulate the system. And whether that adds to your confidence by getting those original ones, I don't think it truly does. Humans will see, it's really interesting if you study that behavior part when it comes to advertising, right? They'll make a lot of assumptions of this is a good person to follow, and so a lot of people will then follow based on how many followers you had. So if you're manipulating that, you're gonna get more, but that doesn't actually mean you're doing anything of value. It's gonna lead to a lot more followers, but it's not gonna have depth, which I think goes back to that idea of a lot of people aren't realizing that they're not looking for depth. They want that surface level, and it's not until something will be challenging in life that they realize the quality of their relationships isn't there, and they've been putting all this energy into something that in the grand scheme of things isn't satisfying. It's more about short-term versus long-term of what overall you're spending your time on and your energy, putting your energy into, that's not real.